Okay, well, the video on this camera didn't look too bad when I viewed it on my computer, so I'm going to keep working with this one because I want to make sure that I don't screw up like I did on California Gold. That was just really the review section where I ended up missing my zoom on my other camera, and I didn't set it into place properly, and it just got fixed and zoomed in into a blank screen. So I want to show you kind of what how I figure out what I'm going to do in a turn, because remember, I have a bunch of cards to decide, and I've got to choose which 4 of these I want to use and which 4 I want to hold off until maybe next turn, maybe some other point. So I'm grabbing the Republicans first. They're going to be the first turn. So this one gives me a bonus speedy move. And it's only a 1-point card. If I'm in Utah, it can give me 2 points. Ooh, I don't know if I need 2 votes in Utah. So that's kind of, I'd rather use these for movement. Likewise, Vice President Sherman died in office a week before the election. If you're in New York, you end up getting a vote there and a popularity. Well, popularity is kind of neat because it's sort of the last thing you get to place. So having one of those could be useful, but it ends up canceling out against other people's. But unlike these, there's no real, hey, you must be doing really well in it to get anything from it. With popularity, everybody gets an advantage on you if you don't have any. Whatever you have in it does help you to some extent. Must be in a West to get 1 each in Wyoming and Washington. What's kind of nice about these cards is they give you 2 different states at once, which means you don't end up, putting too many votes in some stupid little state. It's really important in the smaller states to get those kind of things, I think. A rail pass. Move free to any state in the region you currently occupy once per turn for the rest of the round. That's a powerful option. I'm giving up 2 votes and an action for it, but it allows me to bop around kind of for free. Now, if I'm going to stay in the Midwest, that may be the thing I want to play. Public servant. Must be in the West to gain 1 each in Washington, Oregon, Montana. That's kind of appealing. So I've got kind of this pile of Western cards. This one gets me 2 in Washington. Washington's a bigger state. Must be in Idaho to gain 2 there. Yeah. I'm going to put this up with Smiling Bill because those both are rail cards. This is a rail card too, but it's also my popularity card. No third term. This allows me to remove 3 progressives there. Might be worthwhile. Who knows? I don't really like targeting one other player because that doesn't, unless that player is clearly in the lead, that doesn't really help my chances of victory at all. Must be in the West to gain 1 each for Montana, Colorado, and New Mexico. Okay. It looks to me I want to get out west. If I want to get out west, the rail pass isn't terribly helpful to me. I could start off, see, Ohio doesn't have a rail hub. So I'd have to move once. Maybe to Pennsylvania is not a bad place to move. It's a lot of votes near me. And then rail out west if that's what I want to do. That doesn't sound too bad. It takes up 2 of my cards and I'd be throwing 2 in the west. One problem with that is, let's look, the dries can jerk my cubes around and they're out west. So maybe I want to hold off, see if they come out of the west. Although this is a really powerful pile of cards. I'm going to hold this off. This off. And here's the problem. All I have left are 1-point cards. Those are kind of expensive to move around in this way. I don't have a very strong hand other than these Western cards. So what if I spend the no third term? That'll be my movement card. So then these go on top. And my plan is going to be to open up with the no third term card for 2 movement, boom, and then I can either drop something in the newspaper or drop it in Pennsylvania. Either one works, or I could go up to Michigan if I don't feel like 1 vote is enough to really be dropping in Pennsylvania. I'm not set. I need to get a rail card. I'm next to New York. I can go to New York with that. I can play this in New York to get my bonus there. Then I need another rail transit card. That's 3 of my cards. That'll get me out west. And then I need my western card. I'll put that here. And I'll pile these on top instead. Good thing I checked again, because what I had there was not very good for what I was intending to do. Okay, well, I've done the same for everyone. I had a really hard time on the Prohibition Party. Let me explain. And I'm not going to throw out all the cards, but the key thing to note here is I only had 2 that had this little rail stop. One was the free 1 move per area for the rest of the round cards, the whistle stops or whatever. The other one is his popularity card, which is if he goes in Florida, he'll gain a marker there and a popularity. I don't think it's worth... the popularity is nice, but I just don't think that I want that as much as the whistle stop, and I need this because what I'm planning on doing is running out of Arizona into here, and I need another card out of here. I've had a couple of these where I double checked and that whole pre-plotting kind of screwed up. So I'm gonna put the Purity Plank instead of New York. The reason I want this setup is I've got 2 big cards for New York and Pennsylvania that give me 5 votes in each, and that's the win the big states strategy, right? So to get there, though, I need to move to California, which I'm going to use this big card for. I'm going to drop some votes in Cali for that. I can drop it in both boxes, which is kind of cool. And then I'm going to play this to rail out to Pennsylvania. Then I play the Pennsylvania card. Then I play this to move me into New York, and I play the New York card, and that should all work together fine if I can remember it. Okay, so now we start the actual play of the cards, and we go to the Republicans, and let's see if I can remember what they're intending to do. Must be in the West. Let's see, red is in Ohio. I want to get to New York, which I can do automatically. But I have to get somewhere. Must be in the West to get 1 each. So I'm going to want to get to the West. Must be in the West to remove 3 progressives from there. All right, so I think my intention was... Shit, I don't have it. This is so hard for me. So I am here. If I spend a 1 to get to New York, this one I don't care about. Okay. It's hard to see because it looks like west, and I think I'm going out west. So I must be in the west to remove 3 from the progressives there. Okay. That gives me 2 points. I'm not going to use the card. I'm going to use those 2 points to get into New York. It costs me 2. I forgot to mention this because there's someone there, I think, when I did the rolls. That sucks, but I kind of knew about that. And that means I get no points to spend anywhere else. I need to be in New York for this card. And then I want it to rail out to the west. And I think I had other western cards. Who knows? Okay, now we go this way. which is totally anathema to me. This is green Roosevelt. Wants to be in Texas, wants to be in the South, and has some points. Well, what did I need this for? To get to the West. Okay. So, what I'm going to do... Yeah, I'm not really sure I wanted to do it that way, but okay. I'm here. I'm going to play my choo-choo to fly me into Texas. And I don't get anything for that right away. And it gets easier as you run down through the cards. It's right at the beginning, you know, when you have to select that it's hard. And then when you have to remember which of these you want it to operate first. Okay. California may freely move anywhere for the remainder of the round. This is an expensive card to use for this, but that's what I'm playing. I get nothing else I can do here. I gotta watch those special abilities though. 2 of them take play during turns. The ones that I didn't mark red. Gain a cube you occupy when you play a card for its value in the South. And the prohibition can screw people who are in their same area. Same state. Okay. Now he wanted to go to the east, which means he's going to whistle stop. And he's allowed to move 1 for free at this point. Oh, this guy could move for his barnstorming. Where did he want to go? I don't know why the hell. No, I'm not playing barnstorming for the barnstorming. Let's see. So I want to get to California. That means I'm going to play this to get there. This, I want to get to New Mexico. I set this. Okay. I don't think I really want to get to New Mexico. I'm trying to remember, I have a whole pile of Midwestern cards, don't I? Yeah. Yeah, I have 3 Midwestern cards to play next turn. So I gotta get to the Midwest at the end of this. Which means I want to be in California. I don't want to play this to move because I'm just going to rail out to California with one of these. I don't think I'm going to be able to use this. Don't really care to put a vote in New Jersey particularly. And this gets me from California 1, 2, 3 out to Oklahoma. I could move anywhere off that instead. So that's kind of a waste. So I think I'm going to play the barnstorming for the barnstorming. And California it is. Okay. Right. Okay. We're playing the whistle stop for the whistle stop. And it really doesn't matter where we move. We just want to get next to the east because that's where our cards take play. And I got to leave these out because they're available for the rest of the round, not just this card play. And now finally up here, I want to get to Pennsylvania. I've got a rail stop to get me somewhere. I got this, which works in the west. I could play Evils of Liquor. I don't know what my next card that I was intending. I got a whistle stop. Illinois is where I want to get to, which isn't trivial. I can get there through Kentucky. Okay. This is really hard doing it multiplayer in the way I'm doing. So I was giving this up to rail somewhere, which means I have to get to California or some other place where there are. So it's going to cost me 2 to get to California. It would cost me 2 to get to Colorado and 3 to get to Texas. because of these extra people that have gone in there. And I've got to think what I need to do, because I need to rail to get to Pennsylvania. I don't want to do this. But I could give myself a little bit of time by playing the Evils of Liquor. That would give me 3, one in any state, one in each and any states in the region I occupy, adjacent to the state I occupy. So I could swing into, 3 little states really easily. I think I'm going to choose to do that. It wasn't what I intended. I didn't expect someone to go out into California. But let's spread the temperance message. Alright, I'm going to pause for a bit here. Possible, not on this game, I'm going to go back to the other camera because this one's unworkable. I can't use it with the cord in it, so it's as bad as the other one is, except it has a working zoom, but yeah, I don't know. I've got it's the short USB cord that I have to plug in, so I can run to about here. I would have to stand here. I couldn't touch the board anymore. Or else I could wear the wire around my neck or something. Normally, the other camera works okay. It's just last night was so bad. I mean, not okay, but anyway, let's go on. Let's get another one in here. I am in New York. I'm going to play this for its effect, which gets me a cube in New York and a popularity cube. And these are the first cubes? No, we had a few down here under the temperance. I do find the setup with the Prohibition Party over here and starting over here and Debs over here, that confused me in my first attempt at playing. I thought that this was the socialists just because of the seating location. It changes right away. People are flying all over the, at least choo-chooing all over the country. I'm in Texas. I'm going to grab 3 cubes there. It's hard to tell how many cubes you need in a state. In fact, it's hard to tell at all because there's going to be a randomization factor in there. But of course, some of it's play decisions. So putting 3 in Texas, yeah, it's probably not enough to take it if anybody really wants it. But there are other more than 20-point states out there to grab. That seems like a fairly significant investment in Texas. Maybe it'll keep everyone out. Okay, I can move anywhere I like. Well, I already did to California. I've got to stick there because of this card. I must be in California to gain 5 there. I don't want to throw them all in the same place. I'm going to throw 4 and 1 and grab most of the California votes. Now, theoretically, I already got this because I've got the swing there, but, somebody else can take it from me very easily. It's just really an edge. We got whistle stop here. Now, I'm interested in New York and New Jersey, and this is for Debs. All of the East is adjacent to each other and to the 3 states it's adjacent to. So I can go to any of these. Which one do I want to go to most? Well, he's already embedded in New York. It's not going to cost me extra to move there because I'm using the whistle stop, but I'm going to go to New Jersey instead, and I'm going to grab 4 quick votes there. Note that I can't use those points for the newspaper endorsement or whatever, but New Jersey's a big state, or a moderate-sized state, and getting a lot of votes there seems like a good idea rather than getting 1 less vote but one in the fight for the newspapers. Hard to make that judgment, though, because if you groom these well, you get all the votes in them kind of where you want. Not entirely. These only go into empty states, which there may not be many, or any. May just guarantee my home state. And now to our prohibitionists. We had given up on this. We're going to have to use this. It's 2 points. I can either go to California or Colorado with it. Neither one really helps me. I'll go out to California, I guess. That seems more threatening. And I use both my points to get there because I really want to get to Pennsylvania. All right. Let's go around another time. What about Taft here? Must be in the west to gain 1 in Montana. Make Utah the second. Okay. I don't know where I want to go. West. Must be in Idaho. So it looks to me like I want to go west. And I can use Smiling Bill to shoot me out there. I could go anywhere I want. I'm not sure where I want to go. I don't know what the next cards are below these, but must be in the west. Must be in the west. I probably am not going to use this one. Must be in Idaho. All right, let's move out to Washington, I guess. And I used my rail card for that. Progressives. Must be in the south. Well, we're in the south. 1 each in Arkansas, Tennessee, and Alabama. That gets me a pile of votes in a place that the Democrats have a real edge in, but I can move anywhere. Jeez. Yeah, that was kind of a waste, but it was my only way. It was my only way to get where I want to go. That's the problem. And where I want to go is the Midwest, but I don't need to be there right away. So I'm going to take the bonus and get 2 cubes in New Mexico at this point. Now I got to think about these. The prohibitionists: move a cube from the state you occupy to another state in the same region. I don't think I wanted to do that. Okay. I got to remember his ability because he could have used it here. What do we got here? We're Barnes or Whistle Stop. Must be in the south. No. Must be in New York to gain 3 there. Okay. So I got to get to New York. So I pay this for 2. Well, one of the 2 cubes is going to move me from New Jersey to New York. I may be adjacent, but I still have to pay to get there. I got another cube. I'm going to get some votes in New York. I'm going to throw this into my senatorial support box and try for that. You know, try to build up some value in that, because I don't know whether or not I'm going to be, you know, in the lead in New York. Putting a vote in New York is probably safe, alternatively, but this may help me make other votes that I can't place in New York right now safe. I'm going to turn him up. Prohibitionists must be in Pennsylvania, so I got to get to Pennsylvania. Well, that's easy enough. I take the chew. Alrighty. Let's keep going. I gotta keep checking my power. Must be in the west to gain 1 each of Montana, Colorado, and New Mexico. Sounds like a good idea. Montana, Colorado, and New Mexico, not terribly useful there, but over here for the progressives. I got 2 votes. Well, where do I want to be? That's the big question. I got a lot of attack cards here. Must be in the West. Okay, I'm going to use Tammany. See, it cost me both my points to get here, though. That's the problem. So I might be able to move somewhere else more effectively. Where do I want to be here? Gain an extra cube anywhere in the region you occupy. I can't go. Oh, jeez. Well, maybe I want to rethink what my plans are because of the guy in New Mexico. Because this only gives me 3 things kind of spread out in the West. It may not be that valuable. I may be better off going into a southern state. Unfortunately, if I move into one of the ones that I can drop votes in... All right. Well, you know what I can do? I can seek out that endorsement. And just stay where I am, hope I get a card that makes more sense next turn. Here we are. He's barnstorming. He can go anywhere. Remove 2 from progressives in the southern state you occupy. Well, I could definitely do that. Shoot them out of Texas. On the other hand, I get my gain an extra cube in the state I occupy if I play a card for its votes. So I could go south and gain 2 cubes. Where do I want to be? I want to be in the Midwest. And that's the problem. I've got to end up in the Midwest this turn. This was kind of a shitty card to have in my hand here. Where do I... It doesn't really matter where I am in the Midwest because I have a rail pass, which allows me to shoot all over the place. So, within that region. So I guess I'll hunker over to the big money in Illinois and drop a cube there. And that gets rid of my barnstorming. That rail accident's going to make sense with all the choo-choo I'm using. I'm on a whistle stop. I have to be in New York to use it. Well, for some reason, yeah, I'm able to go into New York. Now this is, I've got my ability here. But first, I get 3 cubes in New York. And the progressive, or the prohibition ability, so I can remove a cube to another state in the same region. I'm going to move these over to New Jersey. Damn drunkards. And, wow, I'm in favor of suffering. Suffering women, or... I always loved that term for whatever reason. All right, and now... Oh, except that was not me. Give that back. Always get that mistake. This is Debs, who for some reason is already there. That's what I don't get. Why is he in New York? I don't know. He's got this whistle stop. I'm really hoping I didn't move to New York with that card, which is what I think I did. Yeah, I think I did. So I think I'd have this, because I don't see any other cubes that I put down. I think I should have played this last turn after using the whistle stop. And now I can go somewhere, and it doesn't really matter where. I got to look at my next cards. Must be in the West. Must be in the south. Remove folk. Midwest. None of these are really appealing. So we're 2 votes, and me already incremented in here. I'm going to keep playing for that and dump these away. And now we go to the final card of the turn. Must be in Pennsylvania to gain 5 there. Yeah, I am. Yay! Okay. And now we get our special abilities. And first, the Republican. Within his region, he can move a cube somewhere within his region to somewhere else. Well, New Mexico's not worth a lot. There's a lot of competition for it. I'm going up into Washington. I couldn't go into California. And now the next is the Progressives. Gain an extra cube at the end of each round, placed anywhere in the region he occupies. Georgia looks good. That's a sweet card. And now the Socialists gain a cube in the state that has a tie for majority if they're involved in it at the end of the round. Are the Socialists tied anywhere? No, they're way ahead everywhere. So that's the end of the first turn, or the first round. And now I'm going to go back and, make that same 8-card decision for everyone. I have no idea. It looks like this has gone fairly long overall. My time is not as familiar to me as it used to be. It's in minutes instead of hours or whatever. I can't figure out this camera yet, but I think I'm going to load this one up as an example of the first round of play.